Do you know that during the Nigerian Civil War that there was a coup in Biafra that was meant to remove Ojukwu as the head of state at the beginning of the Civil War? Oh yeah, relax. Let me tell you the story. Know Your History is here to tell you the things you ought to know about your history. So, this is how it happened. According to the report given by the Chief of Army Staff of Biafra, the commander of the whole Biafran forces, in the person of late retired Major General Alexander Madiebo, according to him, right, he said that on the 19th of September of 1967, remember, the war started on 6th of July of 1967. Now, on the 19th of September of 1967, there were two men who came to him. Now, in those days, he was not the commander of the Biafran forces yet. He was still commanding only the 12th Brigade, who was in charge of the northern sector of Biafra, the defense of Nsoka, the defense of Gakem, the defense of Obudu, the defense of Ogoja, and all that. The commander of the 12th Brigade of the Biafran army. Now, Alex Madiebo was still the commander of the 12th Brigade. Now, two men came to him on the morning of 19 September in 1967. Those two men were Major Emmanuel Ifajuna and Major Philip Alele. Now, on a special day, I will make another video to talk about these two characters and the prince and what they did during the Nigerian Civil War. Now, these two people came to him, and according to Madiebo, he was already angry that because he slept late, right, and then his ADC woke him up that these people are about to see him, he was angry. And then when he came out and saw that these were Major Emmanuel Ifajuna and Major Philip Alele, both of them came to see him. And then Alele was telling him about ending the war and whether he would be happy to see that this war will come to an end. And Madiebo replied that he will be more than happy to see the war end, that nobody wants to fight a war, not even the civilians, not even the ones in the military. They don't want to fight a war. Nobody wants to fight a war. Then Alele told him that there is a solution, but the solution involves removing Ojukwu from power. Now, Madiebo asked him a smart question. Madiebo asked him, who is going to take over when you remove Ojukwu from power? Because it is only Odumegwu Ojukwu, the head of state of Biafra, who knows the machinery for persecuting that war. And then that's when Philip Alele answered that it is him, Madiebo, who is going to be the next head of state. And once he becomes the head of state, that's when he's going to, open up negotiations with Nigerians, and then the war will be stopped. And then Madiebo smartly refused that offer, that he is not interested in such positions. Okay, that he doesn't want a position whereby in a few days or in a few weeks he becomes the head of state and then he ends and then he has to go. Okay, so now these two people, unknowingly to Madiebo at the time, they were planning a coup against Ojukwu. But after some weeks later, but then on that very day that they came, immediately they left his office in the 12th Brigade, where he had his headquarters of the Biafran army. Madiebo himself left for Enugu that same day to go to army headquarters in Enugu and report to the then GOC of the Biafran army in the person of Brigadier Hilary Njoko. Okay, so he left for Enugu that same day. On reaching to office in Enugu, he couldn't find Hilary Njoko in his office, but he met other people in the headquarters that were working with him, and he discussed with them. And after some time, on that same day, Dr. C.C. Ojukwu and one other Biafran hierarchy civilian called him, that is Madiebo, called him into the office and offered him the position of the Army Chief of Staff for Biafra. At first, he rejected the offer, but the offer was made to him again, and he accepted it. It was much later that Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu discovered what Emmanuel Ifajuna and Philip Alele was about to do, because according to Alele, they were in contact with some British and American expatriates, and these are the white people who wanted them to conduct the coup, remove Ojukwu, install another person so that they can be able to have negotiations to stop the war. So at the end of the day, Ojukwu found out the plot against him, he arrested 4 people. He arrested 2 military guys and 2 civilians. The 2 military guys were Major Emmanuel Ifajuna and Brigadier General Victor Banjo. And then the 2 civilians he arrested was Philip Alele. Remember, I called him a major. He was just a ceremonial major. He was a civilian in army uniform. That's just what he is. And then the 2 civilians Ojukwu arrested was Philip Alele and Sam Abam. Okay, these were the 4 people he arrested. They were tried in a special tribunal. They were court-martialed and they were summarily executed shortly before Enugu fell to the hands of the Nigerians during the Nigerian Civil War in September of 1967. Know your history. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me come and be going.